Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy Hodges. I'm so glad that you're here. I talk all things OCD, in particular pure OCD, which is the community name for OCD that manifests as intrusive thoughts and mental rituals. My memoir is also called Pure OCD, The Invisible Side of Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. I'm a certified peer support specialist working with people all around the world, wherever they are in recovery, and I can also provide referrals to therapists wherever you are in the world. Go to chrissyhodges.com to find out more. NoCD, NoCD is an app. Inside the app, you can connect with other people who have OCD. There's also all kinds of resources, and they also do telehealth with ERP in many, many places around the world. And you can find out more about them at nocd.com or treatmyocd.com. Today I wanted to talk about something that I actually post on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, follow me at PureOChrissy. And I posted about this today, and it just comes up so much when I'm working with clients, and it's come up for me, and that is the feeling of doom. Doom. D-O-O-M. Doom. You know, like doom. So today I just wanted to talk about it and normalize it for you. We often, when it comes to OCD, this is what we hear when we are doing our Google research. Dr. Google. When we go to Google, we find out, oh, you're going to have intrusive thoughts, and you're going to have, and so when you want to, what you want to do is sit with the thoughts, and you want to let the thoughts be there, and you want to have, so we hear all this stuff about the intrusive thoughts, and it's so true, because intrusive thoughts are part of OCD. And they are a driving factor in a lot of what we're experiencing in the cycle of OCD. But one of the things that we fail to talk about are the feelings behind it. Now, Dr. Phillipson, which by the way, he and I are doing a live video here on YouTube this Sunday. So if you're watching this video, look for the next video. Or the video that I will have at the top, and it will be with me and him, and we're going to talk about all things OCD. Dr. Phillipson is like the OG in the OCD community, coined the term Pure O. He was my therapist. He's my friend now, because it's been like 25 years. Just a great all-around therapist in person, and we're going to talk about a lot of things that I know you're going to relate to. But when I forgot my train of thought about why I said that, but but what I was going to say is this. So when we talk about intrusive thoughts, when we're talking about OCD in general, we really just talk about the intrusive thoughts. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Dr. Phillipson is one person that does talk about the feelings that accompany having intrusive thoughts, and it's the feelings that really pull us in. Now, a lot of times when you go to therapy, you're going to work with the therapist, and they're going to say, well, we're not going to talk about your feelings, and they don't matter. Do I think that that's true? No. Have I said that that's true before? Yes, maybe. Again, I'm just going to emphasize, as I get deeper into my own recovery, and as I work with people more and more and more, and I align with really the experience of OCD, I'm allowed to evolve in the way that I think about OCD, and the way that I think treatment is, and the way that I see the experience of OCD. So if I'm saying something right now that contrasts with something that I said 5 years ago, it's because I'm older, and I know more, and I've been doing this long enough to be able to evolve. So I hope you'll understand that. Before, I would say things like, your feelings don't matter, the feelings get in the way. I don't believe that anymore. The feelings are the reason why we get stuck in this cycle to begin with. We have intrusive thoughts all the time. We have thoughts that are just disturbing all the time, or thoughts that are just thoughts all the time, and we don't latch onto them, we don't connect, because we don't have a feeling associated with them. When we're having the negative feelings associated with intrusive thoughts, that's what causes us to go, oh, wait, what is that? And let me now try to solve it. If the feeling wasn't there, we would not have a reaction to the thought. And so, doom is a feeling that a lot of people have with Pure O, intrusive thoughts, with the experience of OCD that isn't talked about a lot. So a couple things. First, this can very much concur with the OCD haze. Now, I've done a video on this before. This is so important. The OCD haze is what we like to describe as that, oh my gosh, I just had a trigger, I am stuck. It is almost like you're separate from the world, like dissociation. Some people describe it as it's like it's glass in front of us, and it's blurred. So you can see the world going on, but it's almost blurred because you're separate from it. because you're so honed in and focused on what's going on in your brain. It is very scary. You can be in the haze for a really long time, or the haze can last a day or two. It doesn't matter. But it is just that initial trigger of terror and the fear that you're not going to get out of it. And then when you're stuck in it, it is like you are disconnected from the world. You're disconnected from your body. You're disconnected from the present. And it is scary to think, am I ever going to be able to get back? Doom can completely concur with the OCD haze. So when we talk about emotions that can happen alongside the OCD experience, so a lot of times we're always going to talk about anxiety. Anxiety is a big one, right? And you hear that all over social media. You have intrusive thoughts, you have anxiety. Well, what happens is sometimes you have intrusive thoughts for so long that you don't have anxiety anymore. So then you go, oh no, I don't have anxiety. That must mean the OCD is real. But that just also means, to a degree, and don't quote me on this, but I'm using my own lived experience. If I have anxiety about something so long, I'm going to probably desensitize to the anxiety. This doesn't have to be a good thing. Like, I desensitize to the anxiety, so I don't worry about the thoughts anymore. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I've desensitized to the anxiety, meaning like the anxiety isn't giving me comfort anymore, especially when it comes to taboo, intrusive thoughts. Like, I rely on the anxiety to know that if the anxiety is there, that means I'm not going to act on it. Or if the anxiety there, that means that the thoughts aren't true, or this isn't real. So if I desensitize the anxiety, oh shit, the thoughts are still there. And I don't have anxiety, so what does that mean? Am I morphing into this? Am I now accepting it? Is this who I really am? And I was in denial. When anxiety subsides and you desensitize to it, it can get real scary. But other emotions that can come alongside that act the same way that anxiety does, maybe at the beginning or even deeper into the cycle of OCD, would be sadness, anger, shame, guilt. All of these feelings, disgust, all of these feelings that come alongside the intrusive thoughts or come alongside the experience of it, that make us think these feelings are so real, this cannot be OCD. We really just want to believe that OCD just is this thing we're just going to one day recognize as OCD, and as soon as it happens, we'll always know it's OCD. That's not how it works. Because it's always going to feel real, and that's what makes it so scary. Now, doom is in a whole other category, and that's why I'm doing a video specifically on it. Doom is hopelessness. Doom is helplessness. Doom is absolute terror, where you are frozen almost. The trigger happens, you're frozen in that space. Life will never be the same because of what I just experienced. Because I now have this feeling, because this happened, I have ruined my whole life. I will never be happy again. I will never get past this. I could never go back. I don't deserve happiness now. If only I hadn't watched this. If only I hadn't thought this. If only I hadn't Googled this. This is doom. Doom is, there is no way out. And it can be so deep that it, in opposition to anxiety, where anxiety is almost energy provoking, right? I have anxiety, so I need to get up and do something. I need to go try to solve it. I'm going to ruminate. I'm going to avoid. I'm going to mentally review. Doom is, it's so scary that you're stuck. Have you ever had a trigger and you experience the OCD haze and the doom is along with it, and you are just stuck? I can't move. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm going to stay here. It's almost like you're scared to move. It isn't even like you're scared to find out what's going to happen. You're just scared about the state that you're in. That is doom. Doom is very common for OCD. And that's what I came here to say. I know that it feels helpless and hopeless, and it also feels like it's leading you down to depression. And it can. It can. And depression can coincide with OCD very much. Many people have the comorbid OCD and depression. So you're not alone with that, and and you don't have to be scared of that. You know, it's important to seek professional help if you are experiencing depression. It's important to recognize that's depression. You are worthy of saying it's depression, okay? You are deserving that it is depression. Don't think to yourself, I just should be stronger, I'm just weak, blah, blah, blah. No, depression is part of having OCD at times and for some people. But doom can very much lead to that. It can go right beside it. It can be part of it. And that can be very scary, because when we start to feel helpless and when we don't have the energetic emotions like anxiety, where we feel like, oh, we're going to solve this and we're going to do this, doom can make you feel like you're turning inward. There's no way out. I am scared. I am isolated. I can't move. I can think about triggers I've had where I just didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to get up off the couch, and that was the doom feeling. Now, doom is just like any other emotion. There are very many of us that don't know how or understand how to experience emotion, go all the way through it and complete it to see that we're going to be okay. And so, in fact, that's where compulsions can come in. And they can go, oh my gosh, we can't feel this way. We can't feel this anxiety. We can't feel the doom. We can't feel the sadness. So we need to do compulsions to make sure it's okay, or to get back, instead of just being like, well, I'm just going to feel this and see where we're going with it. That's too scary. Because what are we going to find out if we go all the way through it? What if we find out the intrusive thoughts are real? Or what if we find out that the doom is forever? So we almost like stop emotions with compulsions, and we like backtrack. It's like going against the current, right? So it's taking us this way, and we're like, no. And now I'm just having to like swim in the current to get back because I'm too scared to find out what's going to happen. And emotions are very much part of why the cycle continues and keeps going and can get worse. So when you are working toward recovery, please bring in the emotions. Please don't be scared of doom. Doom is an emotion just like any other emotion. You can experience it, get all the way through it and complete it and go, okay, we worked through that and everything is okay. That takes practice. It takes courage. It takes taking the risk. And a lot of times it can take professional help, and it can take bringing those emotions into doing exposure response prevention and a lot of the therapy that you're going to do when you're seeking professional help for this. One of the things, and I'll share this with you to wrap up. Doom has been one of the scariest emotions that I have had, because when I get it, so much stuff comes up about what I've done wrong, or now that we're here, it's never going to be better, and you should have appreciated the life you had before this, or you Googled this, it's your fault, or you thought that, or if only you'd stayed home and not gone to this place and gotten triggered. So doom always comes back to being my fault. So the helplessness comes to, you shouldn't even try to act on this because it's because of you, because of how stupid you are, or because you made a mistake, and now life is over, and now it'll never get better. So that used to trap me a lot, because I have very poor self-esteem, and for a long time I had little knowledge on how to have any self-compassion or how to believe that this was even OCD. But now I recognize doom as just another emotion that traps me and keeps me stuck. It's like a hook, right? The hook that wraps around me and pulls me over there, and I have a hard time resisting because it's so it's so convincing that this is that real. I mean, I can feel doom sometimes in my stomach. I can feel it in my bones. But then I have to say to myself, okay, emotions and feelings are not permanent. And this is what so many of us have never learned, because we've never allowed ourselves to feel things to completion because we're scared. And that's okay. And that does not make you weak. And that does not make you less than or unworthy. It just means maybe we just haven't practiced, or we haven't had the opportunity to feel safe enough to go all the way through emotions to find out that we're going to be okay. And a lot of what exposure response prevention is, which is the treatment for OCD, the main treatment for OCD. There's a lot of others, other treatments that you can experience to try to work toward recovery with OCD. A lot of what that is just that. It's being safe and practicing how to go all the way through anxiety with a trigger, which is like the exposure. And the response prevention is being able to push all the way through it and see I'm still okay, without stopping it with compulsions and going, I'm going to go swim against the current because I'm too scared to find out. Doom is one of the scariest emotions that we can have because it just, again, instead of external energy, I've got to solve this, it turns us inward and it makes us feel very small and isolated and helpless and hopeless. I'm here to tell you today, this is a very, very common emotion. And you can absolutely sit with that emotion and practice sitting with it, even if it's related to intrusive thoughts, and see that this emotion passes just like any other emotion. It does take practice with professional help, so I would very much encourage you to work with a therapist on how to utilize different modalities of treatment that are evidence-based to treat OCD, but make sure that you're bringing the feelings in along with the intrusive thoughts, and also understand if you're not experiencing intrusive thoughts, maybe images or whatever, and maybe it's just the emotion itself, that's also how OCD can manifest, and you're not alone in that either. So I hope this was helpful for you. Please tune in on Sunday. We're going to be live, so I can't wait for you to experience that. And if you can't be there, look for it on my channel. I will be posting it. It will post after. Go to chrissyhodges.com to find out more about peer support, referral consultations. And for NoCD, go to treatmyocd.com or nocd.com. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.